This is one story that still baffles me to date, that this man was the target of an entity for no reason still remains a mystery yet to be unraveled. If you're joining me for the first time and you love the true, dark, and scary stories, you have just found the right channel. Welcome to the Dark Past, where I'll be telling you one or two stories every week. So please do sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. In early 1804, John Bell moved his family from North Carolina to the Red River bottomland in Robertson County, Tennessee, settling in the Red River community, which is present-day Adams, Tennessee. Bell purchased some land and a large house for his family. Over the next several years, he acquired more land, increasing his holdings to 328 acres and cleared a number of fields for planting. John and his wife, Lucy Bell, had 3 children before moving to Tennessee, and after moving, had 3 more, bringing the family size to 8. The Bell family lived in peace for over a decade until strange events began occurring around their farm and home in the summer of 1817. One day in 1817, John Bell was inspecting his cornfield when he encountered a strange-looking animal sitting in the middle of the field. Shocked by the appearance of this animal, which had the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit, Bell lifted his rifle and fired several shots at the animal, but to his surprise, the animal vanished. Bell didn't think much of it and just went about his business. That evening, after the family had had dinner and had went to bed, the family began hearing beating sounds on the outside wall of their log home. The mysterious sounds continued each night. The family thought this was some kind of prank and would always run out of the house to try to catch whoever was doing this, but they always returned empty-handed. In the weeks that followed, the Bell children began waking up, fighting and complaining that rats were gnawing at their bedpost. Not long after that, the children began complaining of having their bed covers pulled from them and their pillow tossed onto the floor by an invisible entity. As time went on, the Bells began hearing faint whispering voices which was too weak to understand, but sounded like a feeble old woman singing hymns. The encounter escalated, and the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy Bell, began experiencing brutal encounters with the invisible entity. It would pull her hair, slap her relentlessly, often leaving welts and handprints on her face and body. All this while, Bell had told his family not to mention any of this to anyone for the fear of being mocked and laughed at, believing it was all a prank and they would get whoever was behind this. Has also vowed his family to secrecy, couldn't hold back anymore, and had to share his family troubles with his closest friend and neighbor, James Johnson. Johnson was skeptical at first, but later decided to spend the night at the Bell's home with his wife. Things began peacefully, but once they had retired for the evening, they were subjected to the same terrifying disturbances that the Bells had been experiencing. After their bed covers were yanked off and James was slapped, he sprang out of bed, exclaiming, "In the name of the Lord, who are you and what do you want?" The entity did not respond, and the rest of the night was peaceful. The next morning, Mr. Johnson explained to the Bells that the culprit was likely an evil spirit. This entity would be termed the Bell Witch. Over time, the witch's voice straightened, became loud and unmistakable. He sang hymns, quoted scriptures, carried on intelligent conversations, and once even quoted word for word 2 sermons that were preached at the same time on the same day 13 miles apart. Back then, slave trade was still in its prime and the Bell family had a lot. The witch had a dislike for the family slave, tormenting them relentlessly, beating them, and refusing to allow them into the house. A Bell slave named Dean stated he encountered the witch several times and that it appeared frequently in the form of a large black dog, a wolf with two heads, sometimes with no head. Dean also claimed to have been turned into a mole and attacked several times by the witch. He always carried with him his axe and a witch ball made by his wife as protection from the witch. The witch, who could not be seen but heard, continued to express disdain for John, vowing to kill him. Soon afterwards, Bell started experiencing episodes of twitching in his face and difficulty swallowing for almost a year, and the malady grew worse with time. By the fall of 1820, his health has declined drastically, which confined him to his house, where the witch continuously removed his shoes when he tried to walk and slapped his face when he recovered from his numerous seizures. Her shrill voice could be heard all over the farm, cursing and chastising old Jack Bell, the nickname she had given him. On the morning of December 20th, 1820, after slipping into a coma a day earlier, John Bell passed away. Immediately after his death, the family found a vial of some strange black liquid on the cabinet. Bell's son, John Jr., sprinkled 2 drops of the vial into the cat's tongue. The cat jumped up into the air, rolled over in mid-air, and was dead when he hit the floor. Suddenly, the Bell Witch voice could be heard saying, "It's useless for you to try to revive old Jack. I got him this time. He will never get up from that bed again. I gave old Jack a big dose of that last night while he was fast asleep, which fixed him." John Jr. tossed the mysterious vial into the fireplace. It burst into a bright blue flame and shot up the chimney. John Bell's funeral was one of the largest ever held in Robeson County, Tennessee. People attended from miles away. As a crowd of mourners began leaving the graveyard, the Bell Witch laughed and sang a song about a bottle of brandy. Her fervent singing didn't stop until the last mourner had left the graveyard. The Bell Witch's presence was almost non-existent after John Bell's demise, as though it had fulfilled its purpose. After John Bell had died and the hunting stopped, a cave was discovered on his property and has to this day been focal point for visitors hoping to experience a bit of the haunting themselves. It was added to the National Historical Registry in 2008. The cave is the only original feature from the legend that can still be seen today, largely unchanged from the way the Bell family would have seen it in 1817. Though numerous eerie events have been reported by visitors who had been to the cave, such as the renowned difficulty in taking photographs around the site in the pre-digital age, which produces just orbs of light never seen before. Why was John Bell the target of the witch? No one knows. Maybe John could answer that, and that's a secret he has taken to his grave. This brings us to the end of today's story. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, share, which encourages me to bring you more interesting stories like this from around the world. I don't know what media you are watching this with, but you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. Thank you. See you next time, and bye for now.